and all of that, and but there was all these prophecies, and also his son, Prince Rengar II, is cursed at the moment he was born, and with this ill fate, with all this adversity happening to him everywhere he goes and everything, and anyway, I just wanted to kind of, why, out of no reason, why Prince Rengar II is born. The moment he's born, he's already cursed it and everything, and so it's because of this greatest triumph in Arowra history and all of that, and so it's just like really, it's like a really devastated curse that it's been cursing him throughout his since the moment he was born. It's like pretty much you. I mean, maybe you might not see it if you were reading the book as thoroughly because of his battle victory and things like that. But in book 6, you could really see the devastation of the curse the moment he was born. You could see it more clearly in the book 6 redemption, and oh, at least that's the goal, to achieve, to able to make, to, to see, to, kind of like in a way let the readers see the devastations of Prince Rengar II curse more clearly. Pretty much that was what I'm aiming for in book 6, to and also I myself, the creator slash writer, like at the start, like I'm calling to Prince Rengar II to help me out. I'm in a very so pretty much that's how I start book 6. Like I'm calling to Prince Rengar II to help me out because like what I've been saying this whole video. I'm in a very serious situations and everything, and it's like pretty much I'm gonna be even as the story go. I'm gonna be like calling him out even more, like sort of like urgent. Like I'm like basically praying for him and to help me out and things like that. And so as the story progress and things like that, like I'm praying for him to help me out and things like that. And pretty much I would be like praying harder and harder as the story progresses, and pretty much, just like it's pretty much like I don't know. I just want to keep it at like maybe one really con, cons, refined it prayer, kind of like in a way, it's like expressing my very serious situations, and so that I don't have to, constantly doing this prayer in the Arowra Book Series. Kind of might get in the way of the storyline and things like that. So I wanted to make it one refined it prayer, and just stick with that one refined prayer, so it wouldn't get on the way of the storyline. So like I was saying, it's just okay. So pretty much the goal right now is to kind of stick with that one refined it prayer, and so that I don't have to have prayer along the way. It might get in the way of the storyline and things like that. And anyway, well, okay. So pretty much, I mean, cause his father, King Rengar the First, he know the price to use a legendary sword, and he used it anyway. So, but like I was saying, he was very dazed and confused because he's have all these main organization army in his command and everything, and he's losing in the war and everything. So he's dazed and everything, and it's like knowing the price to use a legendary sword, and he used it. So that's and he pretty much he took some steps, afterward, knowing the price, and try to do something to try to maybe could, I don't know, he don't know if he's making his son's curse worse, or he's helping him out because he know his son's being cursed. He want to try to do something to maybe light up his curse, but at the same time, it's also related to him, because of his greatest triumph and things like that. So it felt like, is he making his son's curse worse, or is he helping his son's curse? It's sort of like, in a way, he's also in the struggle and everything. So it's like, So anyway, like I call out, so at the beginning of the chapter 1, I call out to Prince Rengar, like me, like the creators slash writers of Arowra. I'm calling out to Prince Rengar the First to, well, basically, I'm I'm doing I'm pretty much like making another attempt. Pretty much on book 2, I went into Arowra. Like I traveled from San Diego into the continent of Arowra, and I gave my journal about what happened to me. Like the reason, like I've been alone. Like I got set up to be alone, and all the people I know have betrayed me, and my world got flipped it upside down, and pretty much going through all this turmoil and everything. And so I'm kind of like, I kept a journal of it, and basically I gave it to Valkyrie. Hearing the mythology of Valkyrie, that his father Odin, casted his brother Thor from heaven to hell. So I felt maybe she might able to relate, because of her family, Odin, Thor, and her, and in the mythology, and maybe she might able to relate what's going on in my life and things like that. So I traveled from San Diego to Arowra and gave my journal to Valkyrie, and hoping after she read it, she might able to relate because of her family's affair and things like that, and might able to. Well, I mean, that's not exactly her family, but because she's using the name Valkyrie, maybe she might look up herself in the mythology and find out about Valkyrie mythology, and might able to relate to my situation and things like that. And so pretty much that was the first attempt in book 2. I made that, and pretty much I created a few scenes of me also in the book 2, and just to kind of go along with the storyline and things like that. So, like I was saying, but mainly just wanted to give my journal to Valkyrie. Hopefully she could do something about my situation and things after she read through it and things like that, and might able to help me out and things like that. And but I'm going, so pretty much on book 6 I'm doing it again, but this time I'm calling out to Prince Rengar the First, Prince Rengar the Second, Rayhard. So I'm calling out to him, and it's just because I have wrote that Valkyrie had meet up with Prince Rengar the Second, and she gave the journal I gave to her to him and explained to him what happened to me, and told Prince Rengar the Second that he should just travel as far away from civilization as, just travel very far away, and until people doesn't recognize him, because the ending of the Arowra Book Series is very sad because of what happened to me in the journal. It's gonna reflect to what happened to the Arowra Book Series and everything. So it's gonna be very sad and everything. And Prince Rengar II, not gonna like the outcome of it. So he should, travel as far away as he can. And well, as for Prince Rengar II, he's being cursed at the moment he was born. So he kind of, also felt the adversity's been happening to him and all of that. So even without Valkyrie warning, he felt like he wanted to travel far away also, and maybe could avoid, maybe could just, you know, without the, may do something about his curse pretty much, it's like, anyway, so I'm calling him, and then he's returning from his faraway place, return back, and so that he could continue to finish the book series, because he's the protagonist, so he will continue his journey so that the Arowra Book Series could be complete. And so pretty much, like, I basically saying that it is a redemption, book 6 is a redemption that I wanted to, maybe point out, you know, through Prince Rengar's second, point out how it, about my life, maybe why I needed redemption, why I needed help, and things like that. He's kind of in a way, explaining about, why I needed redemption and things like that. And okay, so anyway, so a lot of, pretty much, I just, like, I don't know, maybe, like, say at the climax of the story, I don't know, like, either my life get too, I don't know, like, my situations I'm in maybe just become too much for me to handle. I probably get run over by a car and die at the scene, and it's like I'm saying, it's just, it's not really, like, I'm going through all this trouble calling for Prince Rengar II, and he's just gonna, it's, the Arowra Book Series didn't get far, it's like, I'm already got run over by a car and died at the scene and things like that, it's like, I'm going through all this trouble calling him from far away place and everything, and I get run over by a car and die at the scene, and it's like, anyway, like I'm saying, what it, anyway, I don't know, maybe, like, I've just been saying that a lot, maybe after I got run over by a car and died at the scene, then the world finally knows about my situation and things like that, and, it's just like, Anyway, alright, so, anyway, it was supposed to be really, it was, before, like, when I was brainstorming, I didn't expect it to be so long. Anyway, um, I apologize, like, you have to, it's already been almost, like, over an hour already, and when I first brainstormed it, I just didn't know this video would be this long. Anyway, it's already, I don't know, like, pretty much I just want to point out that it just been like my whole life because of inferior background and inferior place of birth, just struggle after struggle and hard practice as training on combat and sport, and maybe just like, just maybe have a walk with a fair lady at a park, maybe it's like something like that, it's like in the future, maybe it's some. Anyway, like I'm saying, I don't know. I pretty much, that's all I want. It's like maybe something like that. It's like, why is all of a sudden so complicated and everything? It's like, okay, anyway. Pretty much, like, I don't know. I don't know, like, I don't know, like, I really, I'm sorry, maybe you got it all mixed up and everything. You thought, being having all these records on combat and sport, probably, it's not, it could probably be around it. I don't know, like, I'm sorry, I don't know why this happened, it's just always believe that you win your battles and you win your sports, you get to be with a, the female and things like that. So I'm sorry it didn't turn out that way. It's like, okay, so I'm sorry for a lot of things, it's like, anyway, so that's why it's so confusing and complicated and everything because of these it's sort of hard to understand scenes. You know, it's like you win all your combat and your sports game. You know, and you should be able to be around ladies. Isn't that how it's been like? You know, it's like. So I'm sorry it didn't turn out that way. You know, it's like. Okay, um, so pretty much just want to apologize myself before becoming too sad. You know, someone's gonna run me over with a car and kill me at the scene. So before that happens, just want to apologize to myself and to anyone who felt that they who were like me, you know, who felt it's sort of um, messed up and everything, you know. So I apologize to them too. They felt the same way as I felt and things like that. And so before I get run over by the car, pretty much, you know, I just wanted to get a chance to apologize. And it felt like it could get worse and could become too sad, and I'm gonna get run over by a car, you know, as an act of mercy, put me out of my misery and pain and everything. And it's like, okay, so anyway, and also, I know I can't, like, it's too hard for me to fight against temptations. So, like I was saying earlier, like, you know, maybe a very good looking model, female model showed up, get run over by a car, and die at scene. So, I apologize to myself, you know, because it's been very hard for me to fight against this temptation.